If a free sample is right for you, ask about new Levitra.
We'll have 2 cheeseburgers.
We shut down the grill. You can order from our late night menu.
What's on it?
Nothing I'd eat.
Hungry and it's late? Come to Wendy's pickup window for something fresh and eat great, even late.
Hey, if you're going to Wendy's, bring me back a Frosty.
Access NFL.com for live scores and stats. And after the games, AOL members get exclusive NFL.com features only on AOL.
Andy Roddick as the U.S. Open champion.
The U.S. Open on CBS Sports.
Hey, Monday on The Late Show, Dave welcomes Julia Roberts. And later this week, catch Madonna, Russell Crowe, Amanda Peet, Kirsten Dunst, music from Pink and Rod Stewart. That's all this week on The Late Show.
You know David Letterman has a crush on Julia Roberts, don't you? You know that?
I did not know that.
Well, see, I watch every once in a while, Greg.
Davenport and Fisher deep for the kick. From the 12-yard line at Davenport. Right up the middle to about the 30, maybe just across the 30-yard line. 3:55 to play. We'll take a break. Coming back to Green Bay right after this.
Of course, I have a crush on you.
Well, 'tis that season. This year, find some joy of your own, as well as special financing at Acura's Joy to the Road, now until January 5th, 2004.
Help me! When your picture really matters, rely on Verizon Wireless Picture Messaging. It lets you personalize your pictures with text and sound.
Give me what I want or else.
So you can really grab people's attention.
Too many squirrels. My clippers.
Now you can get unlimited picture messaging for only $4.99 a month.
Can you hear me now? I got my squirrel. Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. And by Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Cold, down, easy.
There's a look at one of the 3 Super Bowl trophies that home is a renovated Lambeau. It is a beautiful facility. We were walking through it on Friday, Phil, and we were amazed at not only how many areas you can visit, but how many people were visiting in the middle of the day on Friday afternoon.
I'm amazed that there is not one single empty seat in this stadium.
Favre throwing over the middle. Oh, he hit his man across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Javon Walker with the diving catch. Let's get an update on the Vikings and the Cardinals from Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, Greg, it's 7-6 out there in the desert. And check this out at the end of the third quarter. McCown for the Cardinals. All kinds of pressure here. Ball squirts free, recovered by the Cardinals. But 7-6, Vikings with the football, fourth quarter at the Arizona 40. Back to you.
And once again, the Packers absolutely need an Arizona victory over the Vikings, and they need to beat Denver here in order to make the postseason. Here's Ahman Green. Green, running room, 45, 40. Midfield, down middle of the field to the 10, and he's brought down from behind. Keith Burns made the stop. Ahman Green found the groove.
Yes, he did. It's a nice blocking up front by the offensive line. But really what too, Ahman Green just makes nice cuts. We talked about his size and power, Greg, but what makes you one of the elite backs in the National Football League is when you get out in the open, do you have the speed to take it for those really long gains? And you saw that he does.
Asked him the kind of runner he thinks he is. He says, I think I'm A slasher type runner. I've been that since high school. 47 yards the longest play today, and Najee Davenport inside the 5 to about the 3.
Yeah, you know, what's a slasher as a running back? I asked him, he goes, I take my time, I watch what's going on, but when I decide to take off, I run through that hole, I rip it through there, and, well, we saw it on that last play. He waited and waited, he moved around, then when he got some open space, he takes advantage of it.
He told...
Yeah, and he won that battle. Al Wilson admitted it to us last night. He said at halftime, I felt like I'd played a whole game just tackling Ahman Green.
Green, left side, touchdown. That looked way too easy.
There is no contesting this run. That time, nobody really gets a hand on Ahman Green, and he goes in for the touchdown.
That ties Ahman Green for the most touchdowns in a season by a Green Bay Packer. The extra point is good. 1:35 to play in the third quarter. And the Packers extend their lead, 17-3. They still need some help from the desert.
There first, where no sports sedan has been before. The all-new 270 horsepower Acura TL, a higher form of performance.
Hey, Bob, you get a new haircut?
No.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
Did you lose weight?
Nope. What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Find out if a free sample is right for you.
Did you just talk to the doctor?
Yep. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Here in Nashville, internet users are taking the Net Zero High-Speed Challenge. 2 computers connected to the internet through ordinary phone jacks. One using standard dial-up, the other Net Zero High-Speed dial-up.
The Net Zero High-Speed dial-up is on page 11, whereas the standard dial-up is on page 3.
You can surf the web up to 5 times faster for only $14.95 a month.
There's no reason why you would not want to do this.
Net Zero High-Speed now includes pop-up blocker. Net Zero and Net Zero High-Speed, both available now at netzero.com.
They took his memories.
You don't remember me, do you?
Now they want his life.
Take him.
Second chances.
Paycheck. Rated PG-13. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
Our favorite way to celebrate the holidays? Catching up with old friends.
Taking time to volunteer.
Hanging out with friends and family.
Giving. From all of us at CBS.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays!
Ahman Green scores his 19th touchdown. Jim Taylor, the only other Packer to have scored that many. He did it in a 14-game season back in 1962. 17-3 Green Bay. Medice and Anderson are deep. On the 5, it's Medice. 25. Running room, far side of the field. Midfield, down the sideline. Can he make it? No, he's dragged down from behind inside the 15-yard line by Michael Hawthorne. 83-yard return by the 5th round draft pick out of TCU.
And the Green Bay Packers have one of these stacked kickoff teams. And when I see that by kickoff teams, they seem to not get down the field as fast as they would if they just lined up. And Medice, Greg, you can see the speed he has. And the last person, Michael Hawthorne, just drags him down. But there's a wide open hole going up in there. Nobody around him. Goes down the sideline. And only the speed of Michael Hawthorne stops the touchdown.
Special teams for the Broncos today. An 83-yard kickoff return, a 27-yard punt return by Deltha O'Neal. This is Griffin. Griffin spins inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Nick Barnett, Marcus Anderson with the stop. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, Marcus Anderson, he has played along with Darren Sharper, the safeties. They're a big reason why Denver is not running the football with great success today. They have made a lot of tackles. They've made the runner cut back, and that's what Mike Sherman said. Backside safeties have to have a good game of tackling the Denver running backs.
The pitch for Griffin. Following a block, right side, cuts inside, penalty marker is down. Marcus Anderson again coming up from the safety position to make the play. And it's going to go back. It's going to go against Denver.
Holding, 50, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Left guard Ben Hamilton.
Well, you're not having success running the football up inside, so when he pitched it, I went, oh, that's a nice call. That's different. They haven't seen the pitch and go wide play today, but boy, it's interesting. We just talked about Marcus Anderson, who comes up, dodges Ephraim Salaam, gets out of his way and makes the tackle.
173 return yards eclipses the total offense number for the Broncos. Mike Shanahan will take him any way he can get him. Half a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Griffin, left side, running room, 10, and out of bounds, and there's a marker. Out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. And this one's going to be against Green Bay. Looked like Quentin Griffin lost a contact lens.
Personal foul, face mask, 42, defense, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Penalty is on Darren Sharper. We go to Jim Nantz.
All right, Greg, deflating news here for Packer fans. Minnesota's on the board again. It's Culpepper, Randy Moss, 7 yards, 14-6, inside 9 minutes. Back to you.
Phil, what did you tell me at halftime? If you were in Minnesota and you were Mike Tice, if they needed something, put the ball in Dante Culpepper's hands.
Oh, give it to Dante Culpepper every snap. Look for Randy Moss, and if you're going to lose with your best players controlling the football.
We have come to the end of the 3rd quarter at Lambeau with our score, the Packers 17 and the Broncos 3. And we'll come back to Green Bay after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Michael Jackson, for the first time since his arrest, talks to Ed Bradley, and only Ed Bradley, tonight on 60 Minutes.
Catch 2.5 Men, TV's most-watched new comedy, Monday on CBS.
Powerful enough to haul whatever, whenever, without breaking a sweat. The GMC Sierra half-ton extended cab has more standard horsepower than the Ford F-150. Get a hot new Sierra 1500 extended cab available with a pro-grade power pack, including 5.3-liter V8, hot Bose sound system, and more, with a $3,000 discount, plus an additional $2,500 cash back, or get 0% APR for 60 months. See the pros at your Houston area GMC dealers today.
When important stories break.
It just flipped me on its side. I was scared.
11 News is there.
Very, very dangerous situation.
With urgent details.
Surfside Beach is simply taking a pounding.
About riveting events.
On the back of the truck, they're stealing my truck. I'm on it.
From around Houston.
So we were just told a moment ago.
And around the globe.
The gunfire's been going on for about 15 minutes now.
When important stories break.
You can see the intensity of the hurricane force winds.
Experience them on 11 News, because we go there.
When you find out that the Accord has sophisticated iVTEC engine technology, a spacious, well-appointed cabin, and sleek aerodynamic styling, you may see the Accord in a whole new light. The Accord LX for 2004 from Honda. Now you can lease an Accord LX sedan for $239 a month for 36 months.
35 days.
The Super Bowl
on Channel 11.
I look at the NFC playoff picture. If things remain the way they are now, if Minnesota continues to win, if Carolina continues to win, Carolina would be the number 3 seed in the NFC. Minnesota would be 4th. Carolina would host Dallas. Minnesota would host Seattle, but we're still a ways from that. Start of the 4th quarter. Griffin to about the 1.
That was a good shot. Quentin Griffin, just even though he is a smaller running back, not that tall, but nice power running down inside. Know where you're at. He knew they only had a few yards. Every yard is precious when you're inside the opposing 5-yard line.
We've heard defenders talk about running backs like Quentin Griffin, so they cheat, they hide
behind the blockers, yeah.
Quentin Griffin officially listed at 5'7", 195 pounds. 2nd and goal. Griffin. Ooh. No hiding that time. Grady Jackson, Cledius Hunt were waiting.
Yeah. Cledius Hunt, Mike Sherman said he has been pretty dang good this year. And Grady Jackson, number 75, that is awesome by him. Knocked to the ground, which he says does happen, but he's a good enough athlete to be able to be knocked to the ground, get right back up, and make the tackle.
3rd and goal.
He laid that big party ball on him. That's what he did.
Cannell gets rid of it, incomplete at the goal line. Pass intended for Patrick Hape, number 86.
It's a blitz by the Green Bay Packers. The blitzer's coming free. Marcus Anderson, number 20, makes Danny Cannell throw it just a second before he wants. And when you make a quarterback hurry, they're not as accurate.
And we are now going to get a timeout. The Broncos use their first timeout as Danny Cannell runs to the sideline to consult with Mike Shanahan. A lot of time to play, but the Broncos have not been in scoring territory very often, and Shanahan wants to make sure of everything.
These guys made a smart move. They went to the 25th annual Toyotathon, the year's biggest sales event. They saw it has the best year-end values and best selection, featuring the new Tundra Double Cab with 4 doors. It's big, it's powerful, and it's here. What a stroke of genius to get Tundra named the year's best overall value. Yes, Toyotathon is the smart time to buy. Hurry to Toyotathon's 25th anniversary. The year's biggest sales event is going on at your Toyota dealer now.
People at the party just show some love, and we got to dance and raise them up.
Drink intelligently. A reminder from Smirnoff Ice Triple Black Premium Malt Beverage, proud sponsor of 2003 Winston Cup champion Matt Kenseth and the number 17 car.
What can a seaplane teach us about financial advisors? The best ones take you where others can't. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us. Because regardless of conditions, investment opportunities can be found. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities.
Monday, it's time for the kids to go to work.
A lot of kids your age make money.
Doing what?
Would it kill you to win Wimbledon?
Still standing at a special time. Then it's a Yes Dear road trip with the works.
Sonic, Logan, stop it! Oh, who am I kidding? Can't discipline my kids in a giant hot dog.
Yes Dear at a special time right after Still Standing. CBS Monday.
That's what Denver has done on 4th down attempts this season. Meanwhile, in the last 3 games, Green Bay opponents are 1 out of 8 on 4th down. The line of scrimmage is the 2. 4th and goal. Cannell under pressure, throws incomplete. Biamila, one of the first in on the Denver quarterback.
And if he does not get there, there are receivers uncovered in the end zone. Watch going across. Danny Cannell doesn't have time. Biamila hits him. Grady Jackson getting pressure. And when you see the play from overhead, watch the inside receiver as he goes across. They're trying to create a traffic jam. They do it. It's Dwayne Carswell, but Danny Cannell does not have time to find him open in the end zone.
Ahman Green and Nick Lucci in the backfield, and this is Green. Look at Green, all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. In a Lambeau leap. The most touchdowns ever scored by a Green Bay Packer in one season.
Look at the blocking to the right side. Mark Tauscher, the tight end. Bubba Franks with the kick out. And then look at, hey, perfect running form by Ahman Green. His head stays still. He keeps working those arms. Tremendous speed for a power running back.
Terrific defense turned into one big offensive play, and the Packers are in charge 24-3.
I know a little something about making good moves.
Make your move. Talk to your doctor about Viagra today.
To learn more, race over to Viagra.com.
Epson T001. Canon B.
Shopping for ink and toner in most stores is hit or miss.
HP C9720.
Come on.
A.
At Staples, we stock a huge selection of cartridges, so we guarantee we'll have the one you need. Online or in store, promise.
HP 45.
Bingo.
Your ink and toner in stock. Staples. That was easy.
These people did something smart. They went to the 25th annual Toyotathon, the year's biggest sales event. They saw this huge event has the best year-end values, the most dependable and best lineup of SUVs ever. What a smart choice to get 4Runner. J.D. Power ranked it the most dependable midsize SUV in its class. Yes, they know Toyotathon is the smart time to buy. Hurry to Toyotathon's 25th anniversary. The year's biggest sales event is going on at your Toyota dealer now.
The heart protection study conducted by Oxford University is here. If you've had a heart attack or have diabetes, get information from Merck about treatment options at heartprotectionstudy.com.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Viagra. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right. Life-sized.
Ahman Green, 218 yards rushing on the day. There's another Packer record on his side of the ledger.
That was impressive. The blocking up front, and of course his ability to take advantage of that blocking.
Letting the ball bounce past him, and now chasing it down is Medise, and Medise is going to get corralled inside the 5-yard line. There's a loose ball in the end zone. Touchdown! Bill Carollo first started to step to the 2-yard line to mark forward progress. But Medise was never down before he lost control.
Medise picks it up. And Greg, one thing was his forward progress stopped, and the answer would be no. And then look at all the Green Bay Packers who go chasing for the football in the end zone.
James Whitley stripped him of the football. Marcus Wilkins recovered for the touchdown.
Bill Corolla made the right call when they said no, his forward progress was not stopped. The play wasn't over. Green Bay touchdown.
The Packers chalk up 2 touchdowns in 8 seconds and lead at 31-3.
Thanks. Cheers.
Some light beers don't taste like anything. Next time, try a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Good call.
New plant location? San Diego. San Diego.
The ocean.
The sun.
The people.
A problem.
Problem?
Prices.
Big problem. Solution? Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh.
Good paper.
Best paper. Pittsburgh paper. Perfect. Pursue the potential Pittsburgh property pronto. Let's eat.
Nextel walkie-talkies get it done.
To cure athlete's foot, you've got to be fast on your feet. And nothing lets you treat faster than Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. If you use Tinactin or Lotrimin AF, you'll be treating for 4 long weeks. Who's gonna do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week is proven to kill the fungus and keep you athlete's foot free for 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
Thursday, a stand-up comic dies on stage. Literally.
What are you looking for?
A punchline. And these are not your usual suspects. CSI. Then, a bride disappears from her wedding.
Something in this family isn't right.
But that's only the beginning.
You're thinking she was up to no good.
Without a Trace after CSI. CBS Thursday.
The NFL.com poll question of the day. What's the most bizarre play in NFL history? There is a great list to choose from. You can log on and cast your vote at NFL.com.
I haven't answered one of these all year. Franco Harris' immaculate reception, that would be mine.
That's exactly the one I was going to point out.
There you go. We think alike.
That'll happen often. The Denver Broncos were just a yard away from making it a 17-10 game. And then 21 seconds later, it's 31-3. 13-10 to play here in the fourth. Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, Greg and Phil. However, for the Packers, things not going their way out in the desert as McCown and the Cardinals right here get picked off by Kevin Williams. It leads to a field goal by Elling. It's 17-6 inside 6 minutes to play. Back to you.
I would think Mike Tice might have issued a challenge to his troops at halftime of that game.
Do you think after we've met Mike Tice and we've watched him in some games, he can talk, hey, he can talk some trash. There's no other way to put it. And he talks it to his own players. And he's 6'8". I think he's intimidating. He talks like I tell you, he's a lot of fun to be around. It's fun to watch him coach his team too. Look at these formations that the Green Bay Packers are using. They're stacking, and they're trying to confuse the blocking for the return team. But look, watch how far back and how slow they are getting down the field sometimes, just trying to disguise.
That one hit a Bronco, and it's fallen on at about the 28-yard line. So the Broncos have the football, and today's leading rusher is Ahman Green right there at the very top, with 218 yards and a couple of touchdowns. LaDainian Tomlinson with a big day. And, of course, Jamal Lewis yet to take the field.
Yeah, that, and then Lee Suggs comes in for the Cleveland Browns. What a game. And Ahman Green, Greg, just talking about him, we talked to him on Friday. He said something interesting to us. He goes, look, I know I have the physical abilities. I know that. He's not even going to be, shy about that. I got the size and speed. But he goes, I work like somebody who doesn't have it, who's trying to capture it and to get to be one of the better players. When you take somebody with ability who works hard, you have a chance of getting greatness.
He was delightful to listen talk about it. He said, I like to get low, and I like to hit the guy who's trying to hit me. He said, it takes a lot of the soreness out of you when you're dishing it out.
Oh, really, what a day for him. In really a tremendous way, 10-6. 10-6 used to be an automatic berth in the playoffs in the National Football League, and it looks like we could have two teams, the Green Bay Packers and the Miami Dolphins, both go 10-6, and they will not get in this year.
You can almost feel it's a birthright.
Well, it's disappointing. Hey, winning 10 games in the National Football League is a tremendous accomplishment. So it only goes to say that tremendous disappointment would come with it.
Ball tipped, it falls incomplete. The AFC playoff scenario is complete. New England home field throughout. Kansas City will join the Patriots with the first weekend off. Indy, Baltimore, Tennessee, Denver. Indy and Baltimore will host the first weekend.
And when this game's over, we'll start wondering where are we going to be next Sunday. Doesn't matter. Good games, very good games. And what we're witnessing all around the league, home field, of course, it's wonderful to have it, but so many good running backs, and the defenses are stepping up. Upsets could happen.
There's Quentin Griffin, and Griffin out across the 35-yard line. That'll be a couple of yards shy of a first down.
And with the score 31-3, believe me when I say this, the Broncos want it to end. And I don't think it'll have a great bearing on next week, but still, you're a professional team and a player. You don't want to get embarrassed, and that's what this is starting to turn into.
Under 12 minutes to play. Number 83 is Antonio Chapman. He stands deep for the punt. From the 20. 30. And close to the 35 before Chapman is wrapped up. So Denver and Indianapolis will meet again, and it'll be a repeat of last week's game. Peyton Manning was sacked a couple of times, and we told you earlier what a day Quentin Griffin had. 28 carries, 136 yards rushing. Jake Plummer had a couple of touchdown runs and threw for more than 200 yards as the Broncos won it by a score of 31-17. And you'd have to think these Indianapolis Colts are just chomping at the bit to try to redeem themselves.
Oh, absolutely. So many good subplots. The Broncos, they dominated. Can they do it again? Can they find maybe a different way to do it? The Indianapolis Colts are pride really hit in their game. So you know they're going to adjust what they thought going into the game. And now they've played them. So they have that memory. Okay, maybe they were faster, they're quicker. They will make those adjustments. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Brett Favre comes out of the ball game. You can only begin to imagine the emotional swings that he has gone through over the past week. Doug Peterson, number 18, is the quarterback.
When I get time here, you know, over the years, we've come up here, Greg, we've talked to Brett Favre. It never involves football. It's him telling us stories. They're always funny. Al Harris told us, a defensive back who came from Philadelphia up here. He said something about Brett Favre. He just goes, hey, everybody likes him. He just makes you feel comfortable. He's a leader. He doesn't lead by fear or trying to dominate you. He makes you feel comfortable at home, and that's one of the reasons why people, that and his ability, of course, being a tremendous player, that's why people want to follow him, and he is such a good leader. Great leader by example.
We are under 10 minutes to play.
And when I get a chance, I won't start it now, but I got to tell a story. You heard it on Monday night, his father passing away a few days ago, but he's told me many stories about his father, and his nickname is Old Hammerhead. And he said it was okay if I called him that, and the stories they're pretty funny. So we'll relay one of those here later on in the game.
Delpha O'Neal is standing at his own 25-yard line. And O'Neal fair catches this one at about the 20-yard line. 9:20 to play, fourth quarter. Packer playoff hopes clinging by a thread.
Hurry in to Circuit City's Red Dot sale today. Look for the red dot and get extra savings in every department. Save up to $430 on desktop packages and notebook computers. Save up to $75 on digital cameras. And save on mobile and portable DVD players too. Like this 5.8-inch widescreen portable DVD player, just $169.99 after price break and mail-in rebate. Don't miss the savings at our huge Red Dot sale. Circuit City, we're with you.
Hey, Bob, you get a new haircut?
No.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
Did you lose weight?
Nope.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Find out if a free sample is right for you.
Did you just talk to the doctor?
Yep. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Aren't you tired of frozen dinners?
Make it Campbell's instead.
Thanks. Chunky chicken corn chowder now has more chicken.
And who taught you how to pick a melon?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Campbell's Chunky Soup, dinner that fills you up right. Make it Campbell's instead. And by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
Hey, we remind you again tonight on 60 Minutes, Michael Jackson, for the first time since his arrest, talks to Ed Bradley and only Ed Bradley. This exclusive interview comes your way tonight on 60 Minutes. Substitutions being made on both sides of the ball now. A couple of reserve offensive linemen in for the Denver Broncos. Blake Brockemeyer and Steve Herndon to name two. Cecil Sapp and Mike Anderson in the backfield. And Cannell with the handoff. Let's go back to what you were talking about with Brett Favre, because I know the story you're going to tell.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep it really simple and clean. Old Hammerhead was Brett Favre's high school coach. They were a big running football team, of course, because he had a lot of good running backs, and they're down near the goal line, and Brett Favre changes the play, and he scores a touchdown running. They win the game. It's a big game. Everybody's excited, and Brett Favre says, before I can even get out of the end zone, up the sideline to come back to the bench, my dad is right in my face, and he goes, what do you mean changing the play I sent into you? Forget about it. We've just won a big game, and everybody's excited. He was upset at his son for changing the play that he had sent in.
Oh, Hammerhead was all over me.
Oh, just it. And his father, he's told so many stories about him, about how tough he was, and that only makes sense because Brett Favre is one of those tough football players. Doesn't talk about it, he just shows it on the football field. And the only way you can be that way and show it on the field is if you grew up in that type of environment. So.
Coming up on 8 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. As Brett looks on and wonders if the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to rally.
Well, I'm so curious, do they have any idea of the score? Is anybody relaying that information to the players on the sideline?
Cecil Sapp with the carry. Let's go down to Armin.
Greg, if I could just kind of chime in with a personal story about Brett. You know, we go back to August in that preseason interview I did with him in Cleveland when literally the lights went out during the course of the interview, that blackout. When Brett talking about the blackout period of his life where he was fighting that well-publicized battle with alcohol and prescription drugs, and how proud he was of his recovery and the person he is today, and playing now in his 206th consecutive game, and mentioned in the same breath with Marino and Unitas. And I'll say now what I said then. I said if the NFL is looking for a symbol of what this league is all about, I don't think you can find any better figure than number 4.
Yeah, Armin, he has been just a a pillar of example in the National Football League. That kick rolls to a stop at the 10-yard line. 7:03 to play here in the fourth quarter. Talk about key plays today. Adrian Medice had a chance to score a touchdown. Michael Hawthorne dragged him down, and then the Packer defense came up with a goal line stand. And then on the very next play, Ahman Green broke through for a 98-yard touchdown. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Adrian Medice lost it. Marcus Wilkins dove on it for the touchdown. And this game turned around in a big hurry. Doug Peterson, the quarterback. He gave us to Nick Lucci, who is a running back. As a fullback, is only listed at 6'2", 270 pounds.
Doug Peterson, the backup up here. Hey, that's one job. If you don't want to play, it's a good spot up here in Green Bay.
Yeah, not much seems to knock Brett out of the starting box.
Yeah. And two, you know, Greg, being an ex-quarterback, I'm a pretty tough judge. In other words, I don't go, oh, he's wonderful, when I see all these quarterbacks like a lot of people do. But when I've watched Brett Favre in person, I just go, oh, okay. You know, okay, I understand, and I know why he is truly a great player and will go in the Hall of Fame. And it stands out to me when I watch him in person. I can see these different than almost any other quarterback I've ever watched. And I said the same thing when I first got in this job, when I went out and saw John Elway in Denver, because we competed against the Denver Broncos many times. I did as a player, and I watched him practice one day, and I go, you know, he's pretty good. Because it's the first time I'd watched him as a fan, as an outsider, and I think I just can appreciate their talent a lot more. The same with Dan Marino, and I'm not just saying this. When I watched Deion Sanders for the first time on film, I went, wow, this guy is different from the rest of the defensive backs that I've watched all through my career.
This is Tony Fisher. Fisher, left side.
And, you know, I'm sorry, I left out the other guy in the studio, Boomer Esiason. He's a good-looking guy. What can I say?
Wears the suit well, doesn't he?
That's right. You know, a very good player in his own right, I'm sure. But it is, and you know it too. We watch Ahman Green here. When we see players that are special, you can see it right away. When you see them in person and around other professional athletes, when you can stand out in this environment, you have to be special.
Here's Delpha O'Neal. And O'Neal from his own 47-yard line takes it into Green Bay territory to about the Packer 45. Let's check in with Jim Nantz at the NFL Today in New York. Jim.
All right, Greg, a little hope here now for Green Bay. The Cardinals put together a drive, 4th and 1. And look at this, McCown looks like he's in big trouble, but finds Steve Bush at the last moment. Touchdown, they fail on the 2. Onside kick is on the way. Back to you.
Under 2 minutes to play there in the desert.
I might have spoke too soon about that game being over. I don't know if I did or not. I just kind of assumed that it was.
I was just going to let you wallow in it for a while. First down, Denver. And although Mike Shanahan said they were going to rotate Jarius Jackson and Danny Cannell here in the second half, it's been all Cannell.
And I got to tell you, too, I'm disappointed for Jarius Jackson that it didn't work better for him. That's a lot of pressure he was under. He knew it. He talked about it. When you just get really, truly one shot, here it is. Make it happen. And it just didn't go as well as he hoped it would.
2nd and 7. The clock continues to move here in Green Bay. There is the requisite cheese.
I'd pay money for you to put that on your head.
I'd pay money not to. Straight ahead is Cecil Sapp. And Sapp to the 35. And this crowd just hoping that the Arizona Cardinals can come up with a victory against the Minnesota Vikings. We have a timeout on the field with an injured player. And that stops the clock with 3:45 to play in the 4th. We would like to welcome those of you just joining us. You're watching the Denver Broncos and the Green Bay Packers. Greg Gumbel with Phil Simms and Ahman Green live at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where the Packers lead the Broncos by a score of 31-3. Word from Arizona is that the Cardinals have recovered the onside kick and are still trying to mount some sort of a challenge to the Minnesota Vikings.
That's why all the fans here are standing up, wanting to know what's going on. I'm watching them, and they're turning around to the suites, wanting everybody that's watching the game in their suites to give them some information.
There they are. They're turning around and looking. No one's paying attention to the field now. They'd like a little miracle from Arizona. 3.5 minutes to play. And not much happening there either.
Personal foul, number 90 on the defense. Unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, I'd like to welcome those of you just joining us now. You're watching the Denver Broncos and the Green Bay Packers. 31-3. The Packers are in charge with 3:20 to play. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, and Ahman Green live in Green Bay. In the suite, they are watching the Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. That game has 45 seconds to play. The Vikings with a 17-12 lead.
And they're inside the 10-yard line going in. Well, it's a good thing the players are not watching this right now.
Meanwhile, on the field, Danny Kamel hands off to Cecil Sapp, and Sapp is dragged down at about the 16-yard line. Meanwhile, those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, our game between the Broncos and the Packers. Our score is 31-3. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. Well, what does that Minnesota game mean to the Packers? It means everything. If Arizona can rally and beat the Vikings, it means the Packers win the NFC North and are in the postseason. If the Vikings prevail, the Packers are done, despite a valiant effort here at Lambeau this evening. $2:25 to play.
You look at this Packer team, they've been under such stress for so many weeks because they knew they had to probably get to 10 victories. That's what they thought would get them into the playoffs. They've got there. Now they have to wait and see if it's enough.
There is a chant that has started down below us that goes something like, "Let's go Cardinals." Maybe the only time you will ever hear the Packers cheering for the Arizona Cardinals. 2 minutes to play at Lambeau. We'll be back.
Great hops make great beer.
Minnesota Vikings.
The Packers win the NFC North. Minnesota goes home.
What a game. Josh McCown comes up with the play of a lifetime.
They are?
Force out. Touchdown.
Nathan Poole, and you hear the official.
Extra point.
The official ruling the force out.
Veterinarian or stop. That's it.
With no time left, on 4th down, there are Viking players watching, stunned on the field. And they're doubting whether he was in, but the official ruled that it was a force out.
They're playing for their coach, Dave McGinnis. What a play. What a job.
Talks to Ed Bradley, and only Ed Bradley, tonight on 60 Minutes.
Was it self-defense or murder? No! Don't miss Monday's #1 drama.
You're lying. You don't have any proof.
CSI Miami, CBS Monday.
Jim Nance here in New York. The Arizona Cardinals on the last play of the game. You heard the celebration at Lambeau as McCown, desperation throw, looks for Nate Poole, and it's going to be reviewed now. We hear upstairs it's going to be a booth review. Was he pushed out? He only got 1 foot down, but they're going to review it upstairs to see if he was pushed out. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
That play is under review, but look at the Packer faithful here. They knew it when it happened, and they're on their feet cheering. Meanwhile, the Broncos play out the string, but on the field, as the fans began to communicate to the players what was happening in Arizona, Brett Favre and the rest of the Packers, all of a sudden there's reason to look forward to tomorrow.
Well, when you say the play is under review, I thought the officials ruled that it was a push-out. So when you're forced out as a receiver, I didn't know that was reviewable.
Meanwhile, 4th and 4 here for Cannell and the Broncos. And that's not going to get much. The ball will go over on downs, and the cheering resumes here among the Packer fans. The booth is automatically reviewing the catch in Arizona. Keep in mind that was the last play of the game. If it stands, the Vikings are out. The Packers are champions of the NFC North, and they're in. And the ruling is just coming down now from Arizona on whether the play stands and is valid or not. And let's go to Jim Nance in New York.
It is a touchdown for the Cardinals, and the Packers are going to make the playoffs. McCown here to Poole for the winner. They say at the game site they were reviewing possession, not the issue if he was pushed out. It's a touchdown. The Cardinals have stunned the Vikings. Minnesota is out. Green Bay is in. Back to you.
Boy, stunned is absolutely the word for it, and Brett Favre stunned the exact opposite way. It means that when Green Bay is victorious, the Packers will be home to Seattle the first weekend of the playoffs. Carolina will host the Dallas Cowboys.
And, you know, see Brett Favre, the emotion.
The final 25 seconds will tick away here in Green Bay. And just a few minutes ago, these Packers didn't really have much of a prayer. Arizona, thousands of miles away, have given them new life. Green Bay, 31-3 winners over the Denver Broncos. Philadelphia, home field in the NFC throughout the postseason. St. Louis also with a first-round bye. Green Bay and Seattle here at Lambeau. Dallas travels to Carolina to play the Panthers. Brett Favre, thanks to the Arizona Cardinals, lives to fight another day. And he'll do it on the turf here at Lambeau Field. They love their Packers, don't they?
Just an incredible ending. That's all. The pictures say it all. What an ending for the team, the fans,
and
for him.
You know, all through Minnesota, there is nothing but heartbreak. The Arizona Cardinals rose up just as several other teams did around the National Football League. As we said at the start of the day, nothing is for certain around here. The AFC playoff picture looks like this. New England, home field advantage throughout. Kansas City also off the first weekend. Baltimore will host Tennessee. Indianapolis with a return date against the Denver Broncos. It'll be a whale of a postseason. It all leads up to the Super Bowl in Houston here on CBS on the 1st of February. For Phil Simms and Ahman Green, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Lambeau. Our final score, the Packers 31 and the Broncos 3. Coming up next, Jim Nantz and the guys of the NFL Today. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.
Of all the innovations of the past one...
Fourth down, no time left. McCown looks, it's Poole. He got only 1 foot down, but he was pushed out. They reviewed it upstairs. They reviewed it, they said, as a possession issue. To double check to see if he had possession. He was clearly pushed out. The touchdown stands. The Cardinals win it. The Vikings are out, and the Packers are in, and Lambeau Field continues to celebrate. Just a breathless stretch here as all NFL fans can't believe the finish of that game. Dan,
never give up hope. It's unbelievable. On one play like that, you just don't give up hope, and it puts Green Bay in the playoffs. Unbelievable job by Arizona Cardinals.
You know, 2 things strike me here is that one has to be that Green Bay is playing with a guardian angel now on their shoulders. Right. It's the only thing I can think of. And number 2, what a way to go out if, in fact, Dave McGinnis is going to be fired for the Arizona Cardinals. What a way to go out. He's going out waving to the fans like that's the end of the day. I mean, and how surreal is that? And how about if you're Philadelphia? I mean, we had Brian Dawkins and Darwin Walker on the show this afternoon. They're driving home. They find out that Detroit beat St. Louis. They have home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
It's a crazy day. Crazy day. They left the studio, and the Lions were 10 down. But you got to think of Brett Favre and all he's been through here in this past week. He's going to the playoffs. Let's go out to Ahman Green at Lambeau Field with Ahman Green.
Ahman, a fairy tale ending if there ever was one. Literally the last play out in Arizona, and you guys get into the playoffs. Your thoughts?
Hey, it just... Only thing we was worried about, the things we had to do. You know, things that the Green Bay Packers had to do on this football field. That's the only thing that concerned us. Everything else, you know, the chips fall where they may, but we knew we had to come out here and play hard against a good different team, good Denver defense, special teams. You know, they almost ran one back on us, but we stayed consistent. We kept, you know, I say biggest thing, no turnovers, and we ran the ball well, and pass was effective.
Just the passion of this crowd when it became obvious that you guys had made it into the postseason. What was going through your body?
Going through my mind, I'm a laid-back type of guy, so the thing in my mind is it ain't over yet. We got a job to do, and it's not over. It's just beginning. And, you know, we'll celebrate. I'm going to celebrate probably for 5 more minutes, and that's it. And I'm looking forward to next week, whoever we got.
Over 200 yards for you today, a team record for the season in touchdowns, but so much emotion involving Brett Favre this week. Your thought on his performance today and your performance?
It just hats off to him, and to go to see how great of an athlete, great of a player, great of a person he is to fight through, you know, adversity, not only for himself, but to still come out here and play last week and this week, and for ourselves, not just myself, but our whole team, to come out here and do what we did throughout this whole roller coaster season for us as the Packers. Right now, you know, we're where we wanted to be. You know, it wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, but we're here, and we still got a job to do.
An amazing job, Ahman. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And he has, again, that franchise record 98-yard touchdown gallop, and he was wondering who will he play in the next round. It'll be the team that drafted him out of Nebraska. It'll be the Seattle Seahawks coming into Lambeau Field next Sunday. Here is the lineup. It's just been released. Saturday, Tennessee and Baltimore, and then Dallas at Carolina on an ABC doubleheader. Fox will have the Seattle-Green Bay game. We've got the last leg of Wild Card Weekend right here with the NFL Today leading it off at 4 Eastern next Sunday, followed by the Denver-Indianapolis rematch from a week ago when the Broncos came in to Indianapolis without Portis and beat up on the Colts. Denver and Indianapolis, the Colts today, what a story that was, in fact, as the Colts came back from 2 touchdowns down in the fourth quarter to win it on a Vanderjagt field goal with no time remaining. We've got highlights. We got all the stories coming up. Brett Favre's going